And I think that's about everything we can do here. There we go. 9 effect sources. I mean, technically we should be able to get 8 beacons surrounding every pump check. But I'm fine with 7 too. Okay, I think that this now warrants us increasing the amount of beacons that we produce, or that we stockpile in the base, and then every now and again, when we have enough speed modules and enough beacons, we can just go out, beacon one outpost, and then be happy about it. The biggest oil outpost we have right now is that one down here, where we have 8 directs, so that would be 64 beacons maximum. So let's just set the thing to 100. Nice round number, and be done with it. Not entirely certain I want to invest 1,000 purple packs into something I'll never use. Yeah, well, let's just get random tech. What else? Alright, the plastic is flowing again. And apparently our oil stockpile, well, it's not quite growing yet, but we will get there, I suppose. Yeah, the petroleum's up to 1k again. So for the moment we're stockpiling oil again in some form or another. Okay, what else? This really doesn't seem up to the task, I feel. Which, in my mind, means we need to improve it. Sure, rocket damage. Right now I'm really just pressing random buttons. Alright, let's do an upgrade to red circuits then. Nope. Okay, that's about the infrastructure. Now, how do we do that? I'm halfway tempted to use productivity modules here. Also, Hang on, let's have this always visible. We're draining our accumulator charge fairly quickly. I think it would be a good idea to stock up on solar power. Let's do it in the morning when we can actually see what we're doing. Until then, let's take another tech and let's take you and attach you about 3 times to the end of this. Should be good. Now if this got completely drained, I would be tempted to put in productivity modules, but as it stands it's not even close to getting completely drained, so we'll just leave it at that. I mean, we could put in speed modules, but I always find speed modules in anything that's not oil derricks sort of an evasive maneuver of sorts. Because, well, I'm sure you've heard this argument time and time again, but they are just an excuse for not building a bigger factory, and having a bigger factory is always something nice. But then again, what's copper ore doing here? Then again, having a bigger factory is nice, but you also, for really big safe games with hundreds of hours invested into them, and the safe games that are supposed to do like 1 rocket a minute or even more, you also need to think about performance. And then again, that's the point where speed modules come in handy again. Because if you productivity module everything, you just need incredible amounts of assemblers and furnaces and the like to do even the most basic of things. So at that point, speed beacons are probably warranted again. But yeah, that's still quite a way into the future. And as I said, I don't think it's feasible or sensible to do any kind of excessive moduling in this base. All right. What are we looking on beacons? Can we do another round on that front? Yes, we can. Of course, we also need speed modules for that to work. Two. That's not as many as I'd like. So let's see, we need 16 modules for one, so we could do 2 geysers with this. Yeah, let's do oil 4. I just want to beacon stuff up right now. Even though it's possibly not entirely efficient. I'm trying to think of other like basic things that we would want to be doing with this base. And the only thing that really comes to mind is increase red circuit production, so that we can then increase module production. Because really, at this rate, it's going to take a very long time until we have the thousands upon modules that we will need. Should we ever want to build a truly gigantic base. Alright, this one should be pretty easy. Go. Let's do it even prettier. And there it goes. So that's 500%, and there's really no way we could get any more. Let's do the other one as well. This one's even better suited. Just for aesthetics. And that's that. See, right there at that station, that was in a microcosm the main reason why I much prefer shorter trains over longer ones. True, technically, which is to say mathematically speaking, you get a larger throughput with longer trains. It's just a basic truth. You can just do a little calculation and show it. But that's always assuming that the train doesn't have to stop anywhere along the way. And any time you have to stop or slow down, a long train will always take longer to accelerate again. And in real life, you of course can plan for that. You can say, all right, we do some sort of preemption scheme where shorter trains or more agile trains have to wait if a long freight train wants to pass. But Factorio doesn't offer such a thing yet, or maybe never will. So yeah, we have to make do with what we have. And to be fair, it doesn't really it works quite nicely with short trains. In the beginning, if you remember the beginnings, I did debate myself for quite a while whether to use single-headed or double-headed trains. So trains that only go one way and loop, or trains that go both ways and have terminus stations, and whether to use short trains or long trains, because usually in every save before this one, I've always used both double-headed trains and long ones. So usually I would go in the mid to late game with 6-wagoned resource trains, and I would always have to have 4-laned backbones very, very soon. Because I would have slow ore trains and then shorter trains for oil and stone and coal. And they would always block each other. There would always be a small coal train or small oil train stuck behind a gigantic ore train. And yeah, it just wasn't fun. And this system, I have to say, works remarkably well. I mean, we've yet to test it under extreme stress, but well, I'm fairly confident it'll hold up to its promises. Right, one thing I will want to do before most likely ending the stream pretty soon is the aforementioned expansion of the power grid. Because even though we won't be using productivity or speed modules in large quantities just yet, it's always nice to plan for it. Question is though, yeah, that's an interesting one. Where do we expand to? I mean, this area up here, it's just too good a spot to pass on. I think some part of the new factory, of the big factory, will be here. There's really no two ways about it. So then the next logical step would be to do like small patches, maybe up around here. Or over here. Yeah, I think we'll start over here. And let me also take a bit of concrete. To do the walkways. Make some room for it too. Right, there you go. And concrete. Ahoy. Okay, so where do we... Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to plan further ahead than I probably need to. Now, let's see. So over here we definitely left some space for a 4-lane expansion. Why don't we do the same thing here? Let's do this, and then let's also make this very, very generous. Yeah, let's leave generous space here. And I went out trying to do this during daylight, and then it took me so long it's nighttime again. Right, why don't we... This works, and this works as well. Now this is a little bit too close for comfort for me. If we make a, yeah, if we do a big junction here, that would probably interfere with it. So let's do it here. And no, we don't have. Yeah, I know. No, we of course don't have the network attached, but we will deal with that. First do a bit of cleanup.